That you will. Don't go anywhere, but Jane, king of mid lane, or will no-go get in the way? After game one, I would be very hesitant about approaching Jane. Of course, he's on a very different champion this time, the Orianna, rather than the Syndra. What do you think about then letting Poss have Graves again? I hate it. I don't like that he's gotten it twice.
I hate it in the sense that I think they shouldn't have done it. I like it in the way that Team Flash should absolutely lose this game because they forgot to swap and they really are wasting my time and really triggering me on a personal level. But other than that, yeah, I think Poss shouldn't have had Graves again. I think that's just way too much comfort for him. He just showed in one game that he's definitely decent on it. And so far, I mean, we saw 4 games on him for Cerberus. I think there was this terrible reacting game, a few other not so good games. I think it were on Mundo. And I think one... okayish game on Cannon he played where they even won the game. That's a rare sight for them with Poss in general. And him just getting the Graves again, it will be a very boring matchup in the top lane overall. I think that just makes it too easy for him.
Yeah, I completely agree. Would have liked to see Marcus actually take it to him rather than just play a very quiet lane. Rono P is in push. Yeah, fighting into a Nautilus level 1, I always think is a little bit risky, particularly when you're an Aphelios and don't have an ability.
Yeah, Aphelios not the greatest level 1 champion, and Fresh to some extent not either. I mean, he is not bad level 1 per se, but he's just stat-wise not really getting ahead of the Nautilus. Level 2 for
level 2. One more. No. Oh, yes, it is. The Ignite will do the damage. I thought Artemis missed his chance with the flash forward, but no. First Blood will go over to Cerberus.
First, they forgot to swap, now they forgot to respect the level 2 power spike coming out for Artemis and VOD OP. What a terrible misfortune for the side of Team Flash bot lane. And this time, at least, it's not Artemis with the first kill. It is indeed VOD OP with the Ignite. It kind of was a foreshadowing what I said in the game earlier, right? It was like, mostly those support Ignites tend to steal the kill for the first blood. This time, that's exactly what happens. And VOD OP this time gets the fat cash in, of course, for support in the early game. Not as bad anyway, because you really want to get a good... power spike on the support item, get the first stuff going on, but you still, of course, would rather have it on Artemis and his Jinx. He, of course, is still fine with getting a little bit of gold there for the assist, but could have been even better for the side of Cerberus. And again, not a great start for Team Flash. And with top lane being a kind of stable matchup, and mid lane being the new player, not looking too good for them. And I really do not envy Ikigai right now, because he really has to do an absolute 1v9 job to really turn this game around.
He certainly does. He has a lot on his shoulders, as the worst person to give an early lead to is Artemis. Yeah, he didn't get the kill, but he did get a lead nonetheless. And that is an absolute nightmare. The man has been a menace to many, many teams here in Vietnam. Toronto P actually steps out of lane. They're just going to try and really stop Ikigai. They're just going to give the crab over to Artemis to make sure that there is no delicious seafood for this Lee Sin.
And Nautilus is really good at doing this, because he could just auto-attack, and that staggering blow alone is enough CC to just break the shield from the Scuttle Crab, so they can clear the Scuttle Crab surprisingly quickly. Of course, don't get the bonus XP bonus code that the jungler would get from it, but it's just for the sake of shutting down Ikigai, and so far they have managed to do so. Viego is not strong early, but he is kind of good at power farming his jungle, and so far he just did the same as Lee Sin did, but a bit faster. And of course, Fuquan is more than fine with that. He's already level 4, and
flash forward by Marcus.
Yeah, it's flash for nothing. Both are low on mana and HP, so it doesn't really favor him much.
What? Did he just not look at his mana? He had nothing. Ikigai is coming up. The Sonic Wave doesn't land. They can't dive. Oh, because now Fuquan's coming. Poss has fleet footwork. He does manage to dash away to the ward, so just a flash for nothing.
I would understand if it this can like freeze the wave, deny some minions out of Poss there and just force it back or something, but not even that is happening. He just now can just easily take away this wave and then just have it recall, just chop, and then just TP back to lane or just walk back to lane. I think TPing is the correct choice here because that's what the opposition did, and otherwise Marcus would just chop the next wave in. But it's just a flash wasted basically. If the dive was like realistic to work, I would also understand it, but that was just not happening. No wave crashing the turret to really help Ikigai there, and as soon as Sonic Wave was not even sidestep but could just be quick draw out by the side of Pos, it was just very safe, and he almost even baited Ikigai into a 1v2 there where Ikigai would fall, so not really the smartest play there from Marcus.
Yeah, I felt like if he'd had mana, maybe he goes forward, but let's move on. Let's have a look into this mid lane where Jane once again has got a CS lead over a Corki.
Yeah, that's something that might just be a bit underrated by us before in the draft. It is not a Syndra, it isn't Orianna, but even Orianna also outranges the Corki a little bit, can just use the command attack to even harass the Corki down, and it's not as impressive as the Syndra, but it can still be very impressive if the Orianna is the better player than the Corki is. And this may just be what we see here.
It's an early game skirmish in the bottom lane as Fuquan will get the first kill. He inhabits the soul of the Thresh. Ooh, maybe needs to practice that one a little bit, as that was a bit of an ugly hook, but it doesn't matter because the kill was secured.
Yeah, kill was secured. Good way to play it with the Nautilus. 3v3, surprisingly favoring the Vigo side because they can get the takedown early. Vigo gets the reset going on, gets the invulnerability for a few seconds, and like this, there's not really fighting back for the side of Team Flash. And here we see again, Cerberus just now snowballing through the bot lane. In CS, it's actually even between Slade and Artemis, which is kind of impressive because we saw Artie dying to the 2v2 earlier on. Artie missing the hook.
Oh,
he could just ult defensively. Yeah. It's just a poor man's Flash, right? Not that high of a cooldown. You usually want to use it for the damage, but here you just use it to escape. And here 3v3. Also, Fuquan's sweepering, so he's very sure that he can just pull off the lane gig and it's not spotted. And as he sees the Herald Path coming in, all the CC landing, Fresh dying pretty quickly there, and with the stasis, or with the invulnerability rather, you could just easily clear up that kill and get away safely. Now we see Pos now down his ultimate, would need to flash if he gets caught out here, or maybe even die anyway.
Quick draw, he flashes. Artie tried to predict it, didn't quite send it far enough off to the right. But Pos finally actually has to spend a cooldown.
Flash used, but now they left Slater alone in the bot lane, and Slater might just get zoned away from the wave, or maybe even annoyed even as early as the Quack camp where he's already sitting. And now Artemis gets some free time on the turret plates, and that is not what you want to give Artemis, right? We saw game 1, we saw even some taste of it even in this game already with the 2v2 kill they had, and Artemis getting free turret plates is something that Team Flash really should think twice about. And Slater might even just get Dove here straight up. He does have the Crescendo, but he doesn't have the Severum, so he's actually somewhat diveable, but Artie is back in lane, so I think Slater's safe.
Yeah, he should be okay. He actually gets a fair bit of damage in onto Artemis. Okay. No damage to lock him down as Artie flashes forward, and Artemis has to respect it.
I had to respect it. The flash hook coming out. If that hook lands, he's just dead. And Slater's damage was kind of surprising me. Maybe he isn't that diveable after all. Of course, if you see him, he cannot really return the damage, so there might just be some chance that he would just in a dive get blown up immediately. But here with Artie being back, of course, Slater was safe. And can return the farm. I don't know what Artemis tried to steal there. Maybe red buff potentially, because he thought Ikigai was just doing it. And he wasn't too far off, I think. This play looks dumber than it actually was.
Yeah. And looking now, from the top side, Marcus has actually built up a bit of a CS lead. There has been a lot of attention towards the top side, so it's not too crazy. Where do we... ooh, Pos moving in. Doing a lot of damage here. Marcus whacks him away with the hammer.
And the longer this goes, it should even more favor the Graves. He's already on the plated seal caps. He's already going towards the lifesteal route. And as soon as he has like the Hullbreaker, the Immortal Shield Bow, I think Marcus will not really have any say in this matchup because he's not really creating a lead here. Of course, he's some CS ahead due to the gank that happened earlier, and then Pos being forced out a little bit. But overall, I think this what happened in the first series with like I think it was Hero solo killing Kiaya there. This was just Kiaya being not really careful enough and something that in an isolated situation should not never happen between those two champions. I think Graves should just be too tanky for the Jace to handle at some point of the game. And this time, some adaptation by Artemis. He's already going for the Gale Force, already completed the Gale Force especially, and not for the Kraken Slayer as last game. Maybe he just feared this time that
Dive coming on in. As there's the first kill onto Artie. That gives Fook1 a reset. He misses the flay, but he doesn't miss the Heartbreaker. Once again, dives in, but he's actually going to die. As Aphelios kills Aphelios. Trust no one, Crincy, not even yourself. Always funny there. But it should be the first tower picked up for Cerberus, but he's going to be answered back pretty quickly by Team Flash, at least with some plays.
There's probably some suicide joke here, but I'm not going to say it.
Let's not do that. Yeah. Oh, Icky Guy! Sending Jane to his doom. Never mind, there's no follow-up.
Yeah, good turret play taking there by the side of Team Flash with the Rift Herald charge, but on the bot then we saw again how good Viego is at turret diving once he's at least somewhat ahead, because he can just use the stasis to just reset the turret echo. Ultimately for him, he just died himself because he was taking too much turret shots anyway, also wastes his flash, which is of course very unfortunate, but you still get Artemis ahead of Slayer. That is exactly what you want for the side of Cerberus. Just right now, 2 waves ahead for him. Also, all these assists he has picked up will be very detrimental. We see it in the gear. We see Slayer already struggling to finish his first item, which would also be the Gale Force. And Artemis already on his way with completed boots, goes towards the second item. And here we see in the replay the dive again. He even has the perfect weapons to even fend off a dive with the Crescendum and the Severum. But they just blow up Artie first. Then Artemis takes the hits and thinking the turret is done by the side of Fook1. And did he just flash too late? I think he just should accept that he dies because he's too close to the turret when he retake the aggro and just shouldn't flash there basically.
Yeah, the flash was definitely never gonna work, but hey, whatever. You get a good result. In the end, it was worth your flash, even if you didn't actually have to use it. So far, this man on the screen, no-go, not really having much of an impact. Then he is playing Corki, so it's not a real strike against him. Still a lot of time left for him. I'm going to ask the question again, because it's a similar situation. On paper, Team Flash has the better scaling. But are you confident scaling against Artemis's Jinx?
Not at all. I mean, we already saw last game. I think this time it's actually even more favor towards Cerberus compared to last game. It's not compared to Team Flash, compared to last game, because Orianna definitely on her own right has decent scaling. One good shockwave can solo decide the game at any point, basically. And Viego, compared to Shinjao, also not a bad champion at all. Here we see Gravitum. Maybe they just killed him out because he is tanky, but is he tanky enough?
I think they do. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, very tanky boy. Just needs to flash, which of course is unfortunate, but flash for ultimate is something you can somewhat live with, I would say. No important fight coming up in the next minutes. Next one would be maybe the Cloud Drake coming up in 3 minutes and then some. And even that one not too important for the side of Cerberus. They are going very far into this mid-game. Artemis already almost 2,000 gold. Almost the whole gold is on Artemis. Like Cerberus is 2k ahead and Artemis is 2k ahead. The rest is basically evening each other out.
Ooh, now there's a bit of trouble as Artemis bears down. He'll get that kill. He's now excited, but they've got to get Ikigai. They've got to get away from Ikigai, and they're not doing it successfully. Slater will pick up one, and Ron OP has nowhere to go. He throws out a hook, and he's got a mate coming now. He dies, but now Fook1 takes over this Viego body. He breaks some hearts. He moves on forward, and he breaks a body as well.
And I think Fook here is talking shit because he's absolutely performing on this Viego so far. I really like also how he uses the reset mechanic just now. He just turns into a failure, does some hits, then uses the Heartbreaker for the damage part of it, and then just uses his own Blade of the Wound King ability, which is the Q of Viego, the ranged attack, to just finish off the kill. And Fook1 this game definitely showing up, can keep up in farm, can get kill after kill, and this time he looks like the better jungler.
He does. He maybe someone showed him our server because we weren't being very nice to him. But let's have a look at how this one played out.
Yeah, here we see it again. Only good to see landing and Artemis get the kill into Adi here, but poor Artemis is in a position where he can just be collapsed by both Aphelios and the Lee Sin going onto him with the kick and the Sonic Wave, so he quickly falls because there's no protection for him. But with Fook1 arriving, they decide to turn it. Of course, 1OP dies in the skirmish, but with Fook1 getting 2 kills here, it's ultimately very well for them. And with this 3-4-2 for the side of Cerberus yet again, and they are starting to snowball out of control here. 3k gold lead at 50 minutes is definitely nothing to laugh at, and as we addressed earlier, most of it is on towards the AD carry in Artemis, and bot lane difference being that insane is definitely a good prospect for them for the next team fights.
Yeah. Mid laner's not super involved in this game, Quincy.
No, definitely isn't too eventful. I would say. I think usually Corki's like that, but I mean on this other card, yet again 20 CS down. This time, of course, it is a different player piloting the Corki, but Jane definitely making arguments for himself. I keep saying it. He's definitely playing a very good game. Very good first series in the VCS. If it's his first full series, it's even better for him to have such a strong start. And he just farms better than his opposition. Has a good trading pattern, and I want to see more of him in the team fights. If he just can also land some good shockwaves, because that is really where good Orianna players can show their skill.
For sure. I just think it's very funny that, these ADCs have been going back and forth. Missiles have been falling around them. They've been dodging landmines. And then you've just got the mid lane and it's just got the music going just as they're just farming it up. They're not doing anything. But speaking of mid laners, NoGo does have his package. This should be an easy second herald here for Flash. I don't think Cerberus want to contest this.
I think they won't.
I'm surprised as there's the package going straight in. NoGo doing well, but he does get absolutely owned by a shockwave. The first kill goes over to Artemis. This man is just too damn good. As Jane picks up a kill, they try and kite it out, but I thought the package would keep them back, but nothing keeps Cerberus away from what they want.
And Kevix, you thought that the package would have their back, and I think so did Team Flash. Unfortunately, there was just Fukwon with the Orianna ball on top of him. They could just shockwave him to death and just get the kill there. Artemis even again getting reset, so it's turret plus Herald and also the Drake on top of that. It's like Christmas and birthday combined for the side of Cerberus, and with this again, they just can keep propelling the gold lead. And Flash is somewhat falling apart.
Yeah, I think they're getting ripped apart, if I'm totally honest, as this started with the battle of the hooks, and one was better than the other. Yeah,
hook lands, package comes out, the L-shape is in, but he just he goes so deep into an area where he basically doesn't have any vision, and unluckily for him, there was a Viego lurking around and just used his blade to cut him down, and not a good showing for NoGo either way. He was already getting smashed in lane. Jane on his own court had a very good first showing. NoGo not so much. Of course, gotta say NoGo doesn't have an easy time either, right? He just comes to replace Yoshino after that loss. Doesn't really have much support on this team, as in you would expect those teams to fare better than the opposition. So he basically has to be one of the carries and just fails to deliver so far. Doesn't mean that the player really has nothing to show for himself. But you see Fukwon, if the video gets CC, he can just die.
It's true. He moves forward. He goes for the Heartbreak, but Marcus with a good dodge. He won't get the reset. This will just be a Viego sent back to the Shadow Isles. A big shutdown, freaky guy.
Very big shutdown indeed. And maybe we praised Fukwon also one time too much, because that was really just bad. I mean, he is a Viego. He also goes for the tanky build with the Divine Sunderer into Sterax on this patch. So he survives to some extent, but he just straight up walked into the hook there and then just it looked really awkward how he just died there. It will not be very consequential, as there's not really Drake or Baron coming up in a few seconds, but he just wastes some time for potential good Herald placement and gives away a huge shutdown, which would definitely benefit the side of Team Flash, and just shows that while Cerberus looks a lot better than in week 1, they are still far from clean.
Yeah, it's true. There is some issues, to say the least, with their coordination. Fukwon definitely still has a lot of growing to do, but my compared to the team that played against Garm, it's night and day.
It's heaven and earth, I would say. So you could also put like some evaluation into that comparison. So
sure.
It definitely looks a lot better. There's like no way around it. I don't think they can take this turret without the wave. They have the Herald for it, so it will be fine either way. And maybe even taking 2 turrets here, because the Herald charge number 2, it doesn't take plating money, but it does just keep a very unsoftened flow. But where's Team Flash on the map? They are just not defending or what? I don't know.
GG, like broken mental. I don't know. Rocket comes
Team
out
Flash
from
reminds
Artemis.
me of Cerberus week 1.
Yeah, a little bit. Ooh, Jane and Artemis both caught by the Graviton, but there's no follow-up. This should be fine. The Herald actually got another charge as well. Flash definitely just kind of caught napping, they weren't even really between rotations. I don't know what they were doing. But it wasn't stopping the push. As Cerberus
I was stopping
to get ahead.
Yeah, Cerberus could take one tier 1 turret, is what I was doubting, and they almost took the whole lane. That's kind of how insanely lacking Team Flash defense was over there. And also maybe the Herald charge. Yeah, that being uncontested, it can still hurt a lot, even if it's the second Herald. It actually does more damage overall to the turret, just gives less gold unless you finish it. So here, the wave clear should come out for the side of Cerberus.
Ooh, Fook gets hooked.
The hook.
Oh, but they're just going to follow it up with a hook of their own as Ron OP goes diving into the backline. They want to try and get Artemis excited. They do it well. He now runs forward at the speed of sound. And Quincy, he's coming for him. Gets hit by a big J shock blast. Now they need to be careful. Ikigai goes surfing on in, just flashes out, doesn't even launch the kick. And Cerberus will have to settle for just the one.
Just the one, and I think maybe Ikigai tried to bait some flashes out on his own, or maybe go for an insane insect play, but he has to waste his own flash in this regard. Also, Marcos having to flash there, and it's just hook landing to support on both sides, but the team with the damage is Cerberus so far, so it is, at the end of the day, Artemis will get excited yet again out of it. Calocap also secured by the side of them, and they will be in a great position to go for this next Ocean Drake, and it will be soul point for the side of Cerberus if they manage to secure it, which means the flash yet again on the back foot. I do have to say, despite them getting kind of smashed around the map, they are only 4k gold down, and that is, considering what we have seen so far, not that high of a number.
And it's VCS. We had gone so long without a pause. We had gone so long without a pause. I was wondering why Rakan had just randomly started screaming. He could see it coming. He could sense the Sepia Rift. Hopefully this does get resolved soon enough. Obviously, we don't know what the issue is. Here in this unofficial fan stream, but if we find out, we'll let you know. And hopefully it's just a momentary disruption, because Cerberus are looking very, very clean. Perhaps not back up to winter form, but a much better team than week one, and a team that maybe people had written off a little bit too soon.
Maybe a little bit more.
All good.
Yeah, we're back in. It was just Ikigai going for a quick pause and asking, I am supposed to have 4 teammates, where are they? And then the referee told him, they are indeed there, you just haven't noticed them yet. But here we are, back into the game. Was a quick one. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what the next Drake fight will be, or if Team Flash just says, which I think they should be, saying, let's just give it up and maybe fight for Soul, or maybe fight for a potential Elder Flip later on. Ocean Soul, maybe something you can even somewhat afford to give up, because you either just one-shot the Jinx and the Oriana or the Viego anyway, or you just don't, and the same doesn't really play that huge of a part. And maybe with Elder would be the more likely thing you could fight over, and not the Ocean Soul.
Move on from that. We're not going to talk about it. We all saw it, but never mind. As a teleport is being used, Cerberus, they want to fight over this Ocean Drake. They want to move up to Soul Point.
Package. Okay,
but they need to do it quickly. Can they actually get in time? Fuquan is here. Can't get the smite.
So actually, this was just Team Flash abusing their Corki package timer. So Cerberus was respecting them a lot there, and they were on their own right, thinking maybe we don't have to lose a game over a single Drake. They are not Team Secret, so not really an option for them. And just them giving away this Drake. And now the package will at some point expire, and if there's no skirmish happening now, then Cerberus can easily move towards the Baron and maybe threaten those objectives a little bit more. Vision control would be better for them. They are ahead, and without the package, Team Flash will be a lot less confident, and rightfully so, towards a potential Baron fight.
Certainly gives them a little bit more time as well to try and scale their Corki up. Still, no real impact in the game by No-Go. He didn't really do anything with the package in that last fight. It was merely the existence of it that did the job. He's only on one item at 23 minutes.
That also surprised me. It's kind of because of the Hex Drinker being like built in between, so it looks a bit less than it actually is. And also it's just 2 items against 1 and 2/3 items, so to say. So the lead between the mid-laners is not that insane, but definitely noticeable at this point. Another lead I want to, of course, address yet again is the bot lane difference. Artemis is a full item ahead of Slater, so even if he doesn't play better than Slater, he just subjects him to oblivion here, and Slater won't have an easy time. He basically needs the perfect weapon rotation on Fadas to really have the same impact. Maybe just needs to land a good Gravitum engage, or what he did last game with the Infernum ultimate, where he just was one-shotting almost the whole team from Cerberus. Maybe he needs something like this again. Maybe combine it with an empowered shot blast from Marcus, and they get a pick or 2. It could be possible, because while Cerberus is ahead, they are still playing somewhat squishy champions, aside from maybe the Graves and to some extent the Viego and the Nautilus. So if you get 1 or 2 good picks, you could definitely still win fights on Team Flash, but you definitely need to play it perfectly.
Yeah, they really do. This is a game that's going to come down to execution for both teams, but particularly for Team Flash as they are behind, as you very wisely point out. Fuquan moving forward, wants to get onto Slater, but we'll just move away. Doesn't end up pulling the trigger.
Now the wave setup looks a lot better for the side of Cerberus. They will have the bot lane being like somewhat equal. And now they have the vision control on the Baron as well. I think they could just at least start to attack the Baron and just look what will be the reaction from Team Flash. Will they even go close to it? Will they then just maybe turn for a fight, or will they just finish the Baron and just see what Team Flash's reaction is like? And I don't think that there's much stopping them from it. I mean, someone like Poss, someone like Fuquan on the Vigo and the Graves, they could just easily start it and tank some damage up and even sustain back up on towards the Baron because they have so much lifesteal in their kit, and it will not be that much of a trouble in taking that much damage from the Baron on their side. And if they happen to force a fight, it will just be very rough for the side of Team Flash. Otherwise, the poke starts to come in for the side of Team Flash. They have Corki and Jace. It doesn't look too bad if they get some free poke onto Cerberus.
Yeah, they got Fuquan live. He has to run over to his wolf camp to try and heal back up, which he will be able to do. But this does stop Cerberus from threatening them for now. Nogo is going to head back, probably completing the Ludens, if I had to guess. We don't have the scoreboard up at the moment, so I'm not too sure. Cerberus, I feel like they could have threatened a Baron start.
And I think in general they could just threaten more. I think this Drake giving it up was not necessary.
Sorry, we've got to cut you off as Ikigai has been caught. He's been shockwaved and the jungler's dead. Baron will join him soon.
That was a very clean pick by them. Just hook into ball delivery, shockwave, boom, he dead. And then, Smite is gone, you are behind, Baron is gone as well. And what I was about to say was Cerberus being a bit too slow with their lead. They were 5k gold ahead, they gave away that one Drake due to the package, and then basically did nothing with that. They got these turrets in the top lane because of Team Flash being a little bit sleepy. But when this pick up, they definitely are in a position where they can decisively control the game. The Baron will likely translate over towards these next Ocean Drake, which will spawn in 50 seconds, which means there's enough time to just take a reset, go back to your shop, get some items, and just maybe creep in some vision beforehand and make sure that you are getting caught out by the side of Team Flash, who would be maybe waiting for you. And then this Ocean Drake should be Cerberus' to take.
We'll have to say. And so let's have a look at this pick. Flash, hook, ball, dead.
He's hit his mobile, but not mobile enough. If his flash is down, he already used the safeguard onto a ward beforehand, or I think onto an allied member, so he had that on cooldown as well. He is not that tanky to really survive all of that. He doesn't have mercs either way, so tenacity is not on him, and both Nautilus are not dealing a lot of magic damage to him, so he will die pretty quickly to that. So now Ocean Drake will be quickly done by Cerberus, and I really wonder how much more they take with this Baron, because they still have plenty of time. It is, I think, around 2 minutes they still have left on the Baron, and I want to see them threaten the base a little bit more, because they ultimately play to win this game. They are now in a position where they have a comfortable lead, and if they just now sit on this lead and sleep on it, they just give Corki and Jace Aphelios too much time to really scale back into it.
Yeah, for sure. They do pick up that Drake. They move up to Ocean Soul Point. They take another tower. And with this massive wave, the base integrity should be compromised. The hull is breached. And now the inhib is the next target. But there is a package locked and loaded. No go, mate. You got to justify yourself over the Yosh.
He does.
One day you'll have an impact on this game.
And Ikigai also looking in the flank. And I mean, we shouldn't be too harsh on Nogo, right? It's his first game. I mean, Jane, of course, had a better one. Maybe I'm too nice.
The thing is, though, I'm not so much saying it in terms of he's making mistakes. I don't think he is, but Flash isn't playing to enable him. Like, play around your Corki. Like, this is a Corki at 30 minutes. You need to use him.
And also on a positive note, but you could just say, if Noku plays this out really well now, he makes good arguments over Yoshino, who just now had a really awful game. On the same champion even. Yeah. You could definitely frame it the other way around. If Noku just has a good game right now, lands some very good big ones, has a good package play, maybe even if he doesn't even need to beat Cerberus, but he just needs to have a good showing on this own, and he could maybe be considered for the starting mid lane spot here. But so far, he just hasn't done that.
Yeah. He's been very, very passive. And honestly, Flash in general has been very passive. They've only got 4 kills in 29 minutes. This is a VCS game with 0.5 combined kills per minute. It's positively glacial, Crinsy. I'm bored.
So am I. And 2 of those kills were the 2 for free skirmish against Cerberus in the top side. So even that was not even a beneficial proactive play by them. The only proactive play by them basically was like them catching out Fook 1 at this one bot lane skirmish. Here's a shockwave. Wow.
Finally, damage, action. Let me play by play. But the shockwave was used. It's just damage. They will be able to get back, no worries. Cerberus bringing in the 2-lane press though, Poss. Threatening
Poss
the now.
Poss just whittling down the turret slowly but surely, and Cerberus, I think they are just playing it super safe because they know they are about to have their first match win here. And Poss also even TPing to that. He's just 1 meter away basically, but he just goes for the TP. But second inhib now falling down, they can maybe even tank the tier 3 turret in the top lane now. Poss will just dash over the wall, I think. And they play it slowly because no need to risk anything, right? They're about to have their first match win, and they really do not want to put any risk to it, even if they likely know they could play more aggressively.
The boot comes in from Ikigai, but it's only on Toronto P, who can dash in and get that kill. Never mind, too much shielding. It was all a bait, Princey. It was all a bait, and Ikigai is just a slippery little fish on Cerberus's hook. As that is a big kill being picked up onto Flash's jungler. All 3 inhibitors have been taken, and the dogs bite down hard as Cerberus avenge a pathetic Series 1, I should say, against Garm. They come back in week 2 and show that the Winter Kings are not dead yet. As they move on forward, Poss doing a lot of damage. It is going to be Jane picking up the kills, but now Artemis is excited. I'm excited, Crinsy, as they siege down onto the Nexus and take it and secure the 2-0.
It was a bait, but it wasn't even a good bait.